Hello everyone, welcome to Basics e-Learning. I am going to solve CBSE NCERT textbook for class 10 with a detailed explanation for all the chapters. CBSE board has released sample question paper for the year 2020-2021. This year they have released two math sample question papers, that is basic math and standard math. I have already released a detailed discussion on basic math sample paper in my channel. I am leaving a link of that video in the description box. In today's video, I am going to discuss question paper pattern, solutions and marking criteria of standard sample question paper for the year 2020-2021. First, I'll give a brief discussion on question paper pattern. The sample question paper for the standard math is of 80 marks and 3 hours duration. So question paper is of 80 marks and 3 hours paper. So the question paper has two parts, part A and part B. Part A again has two sections, section 1 and section 2. Both section 1 and section 2 questions are 1 markers. Coming to section 1, it has question number 1 to 16. All are 1 mark questions. But here you have 5 internal choice questions provided. If you see in basic math question paper, all these 16 questions are MCQs. But in standard question paper, these are not MCQs. So you need to give a proper explanation for that 1 mark here. So totally 16 questions in section 1, each has 1 mark. So 16 marks for section 1. Coming to section 2, it has 4 questions, that is question number 17 to 20. All the 4 questions are here case study based questions. Each question has 5 subsections, sub questions, right? So each 5 sub question has again options here. So all these questions are MCQs. So out of each 5 questions, you need to answer only 4 questions, all 4 case studies. So each case study has 5 questions and out of 5 you need to answer only 4 questions. So 4 into 4, you will have here again 16 marks. So part A has 32 marks. All 32 are 1 marker questions here. Coming to part B here, it has 2 markers, 3 markers and 5 mark questions. So 2 mark questions, they call it as short answers, 3 mark short answer, 2 mark as very short answer, 3 mark as short answer and 5 marks as long answer type question. So very short answer 2 mark questions, you will have 6 questions from question number 21 to 26. So totally 6 questions. So 6 into 2, 12 marks here. Then 3 mark questions, question number 27 to 33, totally 7 questions. 7 threes, here are 21 marks here. Coming to 5 mark questions, you will be having 3 questions. That is question number 34, 35, 36. So totally 3 questions here. So 3 into 5 mark. So totally it is 15 long answer questions. So again you will be given with an internal choice here. 2 questions in 2 markers, 2 questions in 3 markers and 1 question in 5 mark. Coming to part B here, 12 plus 21 plus 15, totally 48 marks here. So 48 plus 32, you will have 80 marks on total. So students who are attending standard math paper for CBSE 2021 board examination, this is the clear paper pattern explanation. In this video, I am going to give a detailed explanation on part B, that is very short answer, short answer and long answer questions along with the marking criteria. Part A already I have solved in my videos and I'm leaving a link in the description box. I request the students to solve along with the video so that it will give you a clear understanding. Let us start part B. In this part B, question number 21 is the first question. It's a 2-mark question. So the question is like this. 3 bells ring at an interval of 4, 7 and 14 minutes. All the 3 bells rang at 6 a.m. When the 3 bells will ring together next. So this type of questions, whenever they are asking about together, then you have to take the LCM of the given 3 numbers. So you can write it down. Finding the LCM of 4, 7, 14. Here you will get the final answer. See, I'm taking LCM 2, 7 and 7. Again I can go with 7. Then it will be 2, 1 and 1. So LCM here is 2 into 7 into 2. That is 28. Right? So this is all the 3 bells will ring next after 28 minutes. So they have rang at 6 a.m. So after 28 minutes means it will be 6:28 a.m. So for finding the LCM you will get 1 mark here, and writing the final answer you will get another 1 mark. Coming to question number 22, find the point on x-axis which is equidistant from the points 2, -2 and -4, 2. So if at all they are asking about such type of questions, try to draw it on the graph for your understanding purpose. So sketch it, mark the points here, 2, -2, somewhere I am taking here, and the other point is -4, 2. So I am considering here. So you have to assume another point on x-axis which is at equal distance from these 2 points. So let us say somewhere here on the x-axis they are telling no. So the y coordinate will be 0. So I am taking it as x, 0. So I am taking this point as P, this is Q and this is R. So according to the question, PQ should be equal to QR. So you know the distance formula here is square root of x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. If I am finding the distance between P and Q, let us consider this as x2, y2 and this point as x1, y1. While calculating the distance between Q and R, same consider Q as x2, y2, R you take it as x1, y1. So now substitute square root of x2 minus x1, that is x minus of -4 plus 4, right? So that will be -4, 2, right? So here it will be x minus 4, x minus of minus plus 4, x plus 4 whole square plus 0, right? y2 minus y1. So 0 minus 2. 0 minus 2 whole square is equal to square root of again x2 minus x1. So x minus 2 whole square plus y2 is 0. y1 is -2. 0 minus of -2, that will be +2 whole square. So root will get cancelled on both sides. This is of the form a plus b whole square. So I am expanding x square plus 8x plus 16 plus -2 whole square is 4 is equal to this side. This is of the form a minus b whole square. Again write it, x square minus 4x plus 4 plus 2 square is 4. So cancel x square and this 4 also will get cancelled. Now I am writing all x one side and the numbers one side, 8x and this is minus 4x, right? So that will be 12x is equal to 4 minus 16, that is minus 12. So x is equal to minus 12 by 12, that is equal to 1. So they're asking you to find the point on x-axis. So the point here is x comma 0, which is nothing but, sorry, this is minus 1, right? So minus 1 comma 0 you have. So this is how we can solve the problem. It's simple. Now coming to the marking criteria. Once if you write down the formula here, you will get half mark, right? This substitution of the 2 points and equating here, equating and substitution, you'll get another half mark. Calculation, finding the value of x, you will get 1 half mark here. And then writing the final answer clearly, you will get another half mark. So don't leave after finding the x here. Try to write down the point here is minus 1 comma 0. So for this again you will get another half mark. Question number 22, you have an internal choice given. The question given here is P minus 2 comma 5 and Q 3 comma 2 are 2 points. Find the coordinates of the point R on PQ such that PR is equal to 2 times QR. So for your better understanding purpose, draw a small picture P, Q. So you're given with P is minus 2 comma 5 and Q is 3 comma 2. And they're telling there is a point on this line PQ, that is R, which divides this line PQ in the ratio 2:1. So this is 2 times I'm taking, this is 1 time. So this point I'm taking it as R. Now consider the points, the coordinates of R as x comma y. So now I can use section formula to find the coordinates of R, that is x comma y. Formula here is m1 x2 plus m2 x1 divided by x1 plus x2, m1 y2 plus m2 y1 divided by m1 plus m2. So everything is given here. This is the ratio here is m1 is to m2 is equal to 2:1. And this is the point x1 comma y1. This is x2 comma y2. Point Q is x2 comma y2. So directly you can substitute to get the answer. So let us do that. This is 2 into x2 is 3 minus 1, sorry, plus m1, m2 is 1. 1 into x1 is minus 2 divided by x1 plus x2 is 2 plus 1, 3, comma, again, m1 is 2 into y2 is 2 again, plus m2 is 1 into y1 is 5 divided by m1 plus m2, 3 here. Just simplify. 6 minus 2, 4 by 3, comma, 2 into 2, 4 plus 5, 9 by 3, so 3. So the point R here is 4 by 3, comma 3, which divides the line segment in 2:1 ratio. So for writing down the formula, you will get half mark here. Then solving this, you will get another half mark. Writing down the final answer with a proper sentence here, you will get another 1 mark here. Coming to question number 23. Find a quadratic polynomial whose zeros are 5 minus 3 root 2 and 5 plus 3 root 2. This is again direct question. You are given with 2 roots. Alpha is equal to 5 minus 3 root 2 and beta is equal to 5 plus 3 root 2. This is the given information. Now find out alpha plus beta and alpha beta. As you know how to write down the quadratic equation once the sum of the roots and product of roots are known. So write 5 minus 3 root 2 plus 5 plus 3 root 2. So this will get cancelled. This is equal to 10. Then try to multiply 5 minus 3 root 2 into 5 plus 3 root 2. This is of a minus b into a plus b form. So I can take it as a square minus b square, 5 square minus 3 root 2 whole square. So this is 25 minus 9 into 2, 18. So that is equal to 7. Now I know the sum of the roots and product of the roots. Now, if you know the sum of the roots and product of roots of any quadratic equation, so the quadratic equation can be expressed as x square minus sum of the roots multiplied by x plus product of the roots is equal to 0. Simply substitute this. X square minus 10x plus 7 is equal to 0 here. So, for finding the sum and product of the zeros, here you will get 1 mark. Writing down the formula, half mark. Substituting and writing the final answer, getting the quadratic equation, you will get another half mark. This is very straight away question here. Next is question number 24. Draw a line segment AB of length 9 cm with A and B as centers. Draw circles of radius 5 cm and 3 cm respectively. Construct tangents to each circle from the center of the other circle. So see here, this circle I have drawn, the big circle, the blue color one, I have drawn with the center A with radius 5 centimeter as they have given. See this from here to here, this part, this is of 5 centimeter radius. Then again another blue circle, the small one with blue sketch I have drawn, right? So this is of 3 centimeter. And the total distance that is from A to B is 9 centimeter they have given. So that's why this 1 centimeter gap is there between the two circles. Now, construct a perpendicular for this line AB at this point I am constructing, that is here I am assuming the point as P. So making this point P as center, draw another circle. So that I have drawn with this another color sketch, right? So wherever this big circle is touching points A, the big circle with center A and the circle 2 with center B, see? So these 2 points P and Q. Similarly down R and S. Now join the points A to P, A to R, B to Q and B to S. Now what happens here? See, for the circle with center A, there are 2 tangents, that is BQ and BS, that are drawn from the center of the other circle, that is nothing but this circle with center B. Similarly, for this small circle, the 2 tangents drawn are A to P and A to R. Those are drawn from the center of the other circle. So this is how you can do the construction of this problem. So coming to the marking criteria, for drawing a circle of 5 centimeter, you will get half mark. 3 centimeter, another half mark here. Then taking the perpendicular, drawing this circle, you will get half mark. And constructing these tangents, that is AP, AR and BQ, BS. These are the tangents. So for this construction of these tangents, you will get another half mark. So totally 2 marks for this construction. Coming to question number 25. You are given with internal choice here and both the questions are from trigonometry. Let us see. You are given with tan A. Tan A is 3 by 4 and they are asking you to find the value of 1 by sin A plus 1 by cos A. Right? So 1 by sin A plus 1 by cos A. I am drawing a triangle with A as an acute angle, ABC. So tan A is nothing but opposite by adjacent. For angle A, opposite is BC, so I am taking it as 3 and adjacent is AB, taking it as 4. So from a famous Pythagoras triplet, we know the hypotenuse will be 3 here, or else you can write using Pythagoras theorem 3 square plus 4 square, that is equal to 5 square, right? Square root of 25, so that will be 5 you can write. So this is how I can find out my hypotenuse. Now they are asking you to find out 1 by sin A plus 1 by cos A. So sin A is nothing but opposite by hypotenuse. Write it down. Opposite is 3 and hypotenuse is 5. Cos A adjacent by hypotenuse. that will be 4 by 5. So substitute 1 by sin A plus 1 by cos A, that is equal to 1 by 3 by 5 plus 1 by 4 by 5. The fraction will flip as 5 by 3 plus 5 by 3 plus 5 by 4. You take LCM, this is 12. 4 into 5, 20 plus 3 into 5, 15. 20 plus 15, that will be 35. So the answer is 35 by 12 here. So coming to the marking criteria, on finding the hypotenuse, you will get half mark. Finding sin A, cos A, for sin A half mark, cos A half mark, and finding the final answer, another half mark. The other question in question number 25 is, if root 3 sin theta minus cos theta is equal to 0 and theta is less than 90 degrees, that means theta is an acute angle, find the value of theta. So root 3 sin theta minus cos theta is equal to 0. So we'll do one thing. Let us divide this full thing with cos theta. So you will get here root 3 sin theta by cos theta is tan theta minus 1 is equal to 0. So root 3 tan theta is equal to 1. Then tan theta will be 1 by root 3. So for what value of theta, tan theta will be 1 by root 3? It's 30 degrees. So theta value is 30 degrees. Check the condition here. Theta should be less than 90 degrees. Yes, it is less than 90 degrees. Condition also satisfied. So here finding the value of tan theta is equal to 1 by root 3. Here you will get 1 mark. Whatever it may be the method you follow to simplify, here you will get 1 mark. And then finding the value of theta as 30 degrees, another 1 mark you will get. Next is question number 26. In the figure, quadrilateral ABCD is circumscribing a circle with center O and AD is perpendicular to AB. If radius of incircle is 10 centimeter, then find the value of X. So study the figure very carefully. Here ABCD is a quadrilateral and this is the circumscribed circle with center O and radius 10 centimeter. So this question is based on properties of circles. See here, from point A, any external point, you can consider this AS, AP are two tangents that are drawn to the circle. Then these two tangents are equal, right? So the tangents drawn from an external point to a circle are equal. So based on that property, I think we can solve this problem. See here also, you have an external point C, this CD and CB, or CR and CQ are the two tangents drawn. You can consider like that also, right? So let us see here. And one more thing, they are given this angle A is 90 degree, right? So if you are considering AP and AS are the two tangents that are drawn from an external point, AP is equal to AS. Similarly, from point C, CR is equal to CQ. So CR is given as 27 centimeter. So CQ is also equal to 27 centimeter. And you are given with CB, this side they have given, right? So CB is equal to 38 centimeter. And this CB can be written as CQ plus QB, right? So that is equal to 38. Then QB or BQ is 38 minus CQ. CQ is how much? 27. So that will be 11 centimeter. So one measurement we know here. So if you consider B as a point, again, from B, you can consider two tangents, BP and BQ. BP is equal to BQ. That is nothing but that is equal to 11 centimeter. As you are asked to find out the value of X here, right? So that X is nothing but the side AB. Again, see here, if you draw a line here from O to P, This is nothing but a square here, right? APOS. So, as this is 10 centimeter, they have given the radius. AS is also equal to 10 centimeter. If you consider AS and AP are the two tangents, then AP is also equal to 10 centimeter. And from here we know BP is equal to 11 centimeter. So 10 plus 11, that will be 21 centimeter will be the length of this AB or X. You can write X is equal to AP plus PB, right? So AP and AS, which is nothing but again 10 centimeter, that you can substitute. 10 plus 11 is 21 centimeter here. So this is how we can simplify this problem very easily. Coming to the marking criteria, you have to mention the theorem that the two tangents drawn from an external point to the circle are equal. So based on that only we have solved this problem. So for writing down the theorem, you will get half mark. Then writing down these 2 points, that is AP is equal to AS, and then here BP, you will get half mark and half mark. For formula, half mark, right? So finding the X value, another half mark here. Coming to question number 27. So from question number 27 onwards, these are 3 mark questions. Prove that 2 minus root 3 is irrational given that root 3 is an irrational number. So this is very frequently asked question. So the solution is like this. First, assume 2 minus root 3 is rational number. So if you are assuming it's a rational number, it can be expressed in the form of P by Q, where P and Q are integers, right? So that is by definition of a rational number. This I am writing it as 2 minus P by Q is equal to root 3. That is, I am bringing this P by Q onto the left hand side and root 3 to my right hand side. Now I am taking LCM. 2Q minus P by Q is equal to root 3. Given this root 3 is an irrational number. But here, as we have assumed P by Q is a rational number, then what happens to this 2Q minus P by Q? This is also a rational number, right? But you are given this root 3 is an irrational number. So a rational number cannot be equal to an irrational number. So our assumption is wrong. Then 2 minus root 3 has to be an irrational number. So 2 minus root 3 is an irrational number. This is how we can solve this problem. So let us see the marking criteria. Assuming 2 minus root 3 is a rational number, here you will get half mark. Then equating it to P by Q, half mark. Now root 3 solving, this is 1/2 mark you will get. Then here you will get half mark. Writing the final answer, you will get 1 mark, as this is a 3 mark question. So this is how the marking criteria is for this question. Next is question number 28. It has again internal choice. Both the questions are from quadratic equations. Let us see the question. If one root of the quadratic equation 3x square plus px plus 4 is equal to 0 is 2 by 3, then find the value of p and also the other root of the equation. So this is very simple. Given equation is 3x square plus px plus 4 is equal to 0. One of the root is 2 by 3. So root means if you substitute this value in the quadratic equation, it has to satisfy. So let us take in place of x, substitute 2 by 3. So 3 into 2 by 3 whole square plus p into 2 by 3 plus 4 is equal to 0. So here 1 3 will get cancelled. So this will be 4 divided by 3 plus 2 by 3p plus 4 is equal to 0. Solve the equation for p. So I am keeping only p on one side and the numbers on the other side. Minus 4 by 3 minus 4. Then it will be, I am taking LCM, minus 4 minus 12 This is minus 16 by 3. So 2 by 3p is equal to minus 16 by 3. This will get cancelled. So p is equal to minus 8. So once you get the value of p, substitute in the quadratic equation to get the quadratic equation. So that will be 3x square minus 8x plus 4 is equal to 0. So the story is not yet ended, right? They're asking you to find out the other root of the equation also. So for that I'll multiply here. That will be 12. So the 12 you can split it as 6 2's. 6 plus 2 is 8, right? So middle term splitting method I am using. Using that 3x square minus 6x minus 2x plus 4 is equal to 0. So 3x if you take common, x minus 2 minus 2 if you are taking common, x minus 2 is equal to 0. So x minus 2 is equal to 0, x is equal to 2 is one root, and 3x minus 2 is equal to 0. So x is equal to 2 by 3 is another root. So the roots of the quadratic equation are x is equal to 2 and x is equal to 2 by 3. Right? Write it down and put a box around. Now coming to the marking criteria here, for each and every step you will get a mark. See, substituting 2 by 3 here, in this step you will get half mark. Then solving the value of p here, for this you will get 1 mark. Then splitting the middle term, here you will get half mark. Finding the solution and writing down the answer, you will get 1 mark. So 1 mark here, 1 mark for finding the p value, half mark and half mark here. So totally 3 marks for this question. The internal choice question in question number 28 is like this. The roots alpha and beta of the quadratic equation x square minus 5x plus 3 into k minus 1 is equal to 0 are such that alpha minus beta is equal to 1. Find the value of k. So do it. X square minus 5x plus 3 into k minus 1 is equal to 0. So this is the quadratic equation they have given. And also alpha and beta are the two roots. They have given the relationship between alpha and beta, that is alpha minus beta is equal to 1. So this much we know. And we know that if sum and product of the roots are given, then quadratic equation can be written as x square minus sum of the roots of the quadratic equation into x plus product of the roots is equal to 0, right? This is how we can express if we know sum of the roots and then product of the roots. Now compare. You compare the standard form with the given equation. So from this we can write alpha plus beta is equal to 5 here, right? And then alpha beta is equal to 3 into k minus 1. So we know alpha plus beta is 5, and one more equation they have given in the question itself. Alpha minus beta is equal to 1. Solve this one to find out the value of alpha and beta here. So 2 alpha is equal to 6. Then alpha is equal to 3. Put it back in the equation. Then we'll get beta value is equal to 2. Right? So now substitute alpha and beta in this relation, that is the product. Alpha into beta is equal to 3 into k minus 1. I need the value of k, no? So alpha into beta, that is 3 into 2 is equal to 3 into k minus 1. So 3 will get cancelled. K minus 1 is equal to 2, or k value is 3 here. Right? This is also again very simple question. So just read the question twice. Try to understand what they have given and how we can solve this question. See, here I have just compared the given equation with this form, right? Now, coming to the marking criteria, this equation, if you are writing the formula, you will get half mark. From here, if you are writing alpha plus beta and alpha beta values, you will get another half mark. Finding the values of alpha and beta, you will get 1 mark. Then getting the value of k, you will get another 1 mark. So this is the marking criteria for this question number 28. Next is question number 29. In the given figure ABCD, it's a square of side 14 centimeter. Semicircles are drawn with each side of square as a diameter. Okay. Find the area of a shaded region. So see here, this is the figure given ABCD. It's a square, each of side 14 centimeter. And this is the semicircle here drawn, two semicircles with the diameter as AB on one side and CD as another side, right? So these are the two semicircles drawn. Now we have to find the area of the shaded region. So let us mark the areas here shaded as 1, 2, 3 and 4 here, right? So I'm just marking the area as 1, 2, 3, 4, the shaded region. Now, if you see here, I'm just drawing the square here and drawing the two semicircles here, right? If you draw the two semicircles, I am left with area 2 and 4, right? So if you are taking a area of the square ABCD, right? So area of square ABCD minus area of these two semicircles, right? Area of two semicircles. If I subtract this part of area from the square, I'm just removing this part, these two parts, then I'll be left with 2 and 4, right? So that is nothing but area of the region 2 and 4. Am I correct? Next. Similarly, I'm taking the other two parts of the semicircle like this. I'm considering the other two semicircles, right? Here. Draw the two semicircles here. This is A, B, C, D, right? Now, if I remove this part and this part, that is the semicircle with the diameter AD and diameter BC, these two parts if I remove, then I will be left with portions 1 and 3, right? So this is nothing but, if you have a square of ABCD and I cut off these two portions, these two semicircles, then the area left is only 1 and 3, right? So write it down. Area of this square ABCD minus area of these two semicircles is nothing but area of 1 and 3. So what we need? We need the area of 1, 2, 3, 4. So let us add these two so that you will get the area of 1, 2, 3, 4 regions. So for that, first we need to find out the area of the square and area of the semicircle. So area of square, you find out area of square is nothing but 14 is the side, no? So 14 into 14, that will be 196. Then area of the semicircle. So semicircle, it has radius of diameter given is 14, right? So area of semicircle is half of area of circle, that is pi r square. Here diameter is 14, so radius will be how much? 7. So semicircle area is half into 22 by 7 into 7. So 1 7 will get cancelled. This is 11 times. So I will get it as 77 centimeter square. This is also 196 centimeter square. So I found the area of semicircle and I found the area of square also. So if I add up here, what happens? Area of square ABCD minus area of two semicircles plus area of ABCD minus area of two semicircles. That means 2 times ABCD minus 2 times the semicircle, right? So this two semicircles here and then two semicircles minus 2 times the semicircle, right? So that will be 2 into 196 minus 2 into 77 minus 2 into 77. So if you do this calculation, this will be, you will be getting, this is 84 centimeters square you will get. Okay, so the area of the shaded region here is 84 centimeters square. Coming to the marking criteria, so for applying the logic here, for finding the area of 1 and 3 and 2 and 4, these two figures, this part, here you will get 1 half mark here, half mark here. Then finding the area of semicircle, half mark. Finding the area of square, half mark. Substituting and finding the final answer, 1 mark. So this is how they have divided the 3 marks. Coming to question number 30. You are provided with the internal choice here. Both are based on triangles. Question is like this. The perimeter of two similar triangles are 25 centimeter and 15 centimeter respectively. If one side of the first triangle is 9 centimeter, find the length of the corresponding side of the second triangle. So first of all, you should be clear with the concept of similarity of two figures. Here they are talking about the triangles. So I am considering two triangles ABC and DEF. These two triangles are said to be similar when the ratio of the corresponding sides are equal. So AB by DE should be equal to BC by EF should be equal to AC by DF. Then we say they both are similar figures. You are given with the perimeter here is, first triangle is 25 centimeter. I am taking that for bigger triangle, and smaller triangle I am taking it as 15 centimeter. And one of the side of the first triangle, so let us take that as AB is equal to 9 centimeter. So they are asking you to find out the corresponding side. So the corresponding side is DE. DE is how much? Here in similarity of triangles, the perimeter of triangle ABC is equal to, divided by, that is the ratio of perimeters of two triangles, similar triangles, triangle DEF is equal to ratio of any of the side AB by DE. You can take it like this. So just substitute here. 25 divided by 15 is equal to AB is 9 divided by DE. Take cross multiplication to get the value of DE. DE is equal to 15 into 9 by 25. This is 3 times, this is 5 times. 27 by 5. So 5 5s 25.2, no? 2 means you will get approximately 4, right? So 5.4 centimeter is the corresponding side here. Coming to the marking criteria. Here for writing this part you will get half mark, and here you will get 1 mark. For calculation you will get half mark, sorry, 1 half mark you will get here, and writing the final answer you will get 1 more mark. The other question here in question number 30 is given like this. In an equilateral triangle ABC, D is a point on side BC such that BD is equal to 1 by 3 times BC. Prove that 9AD square is equal to 7AB square. So in this question there is nothing much logic required, but a lengthy calculation is there. So let us see. I have drawn a triangle here, equilateral triangle ABC, and I have taken a point D such that BD is to DC here, BD is to BC is equal to 1 is to 3, right? And let us draw a perpendicular M such that this BM is half of BC. So BM is equal to half of BC perpendicular. Then you are given with BD is to BC is equal to 1 by 3. Now let us see. They have asked you 9 AD square is equal to 7 AB square. So if you see here, triangle ABM, if you are considering, it's a right angle triangle. So take Pythagoras theorem, AB square. I am just trying to get the question into this. So that's why I am writing for AB square. So AB square is equal to AM square plus BM square. Right. But on the other side you have AD. Right. So we have to bring that AD term also here. So let us do AM square. This BM can be written as BD plus DM whole square. Now expand this one. AM square plus BD square plus DM square plus 2 times BD into DM. Now if you see, if you consider this part of this triangle, again it's a right angle triangle, triangle ADM. From that I can write AD square is equal to AM square plus MD square or DM square. See here, AM square and DM square, it is nothing but AD square. AD square plus here I have BD square plus 2 times BD into DM. Now see, the question they have asked for AD square and AB square terms. See now, here we have AB square and AD square terms. But we have to simplify more such that the given relation is obtained. Now, you can write it, see here, BD is to BC is equal to 1 by 3. So, I can write this as AD square plus, so BD by BC is equal to 1 by 3. Then what about BD? 1 by 3 times BC, right? So 1 by 3 times BC whole square. So that is BC square divided by 9 I am writing plus 2 into BD is what? BC by 3. So 1 by 3 into BC. Then DM. See, where is DM? See, this is DM. DM you can write it as BM minus MD, right? So MD only, no, they have asked. So this you can write it as BM minus BD, right? DM, this part is nothing but BM minus BD, right? So that I am writing BM minus MD. Now write it AD square plus 1 by 9 BC square. I am trying to bring everything in terms of BC. So 2 by 3 times BC into BM is nothing but that M is the midpoint of BC. So again this is half of BC minus BD is what anyhow 1 by 3 times BC. Now see, everything is in terms of BC here. So write it down, AD square plus 1 by 9 times BC square plus I am just multiplying 2 by 3 into 1 by 2 BC square minus 2 by 3 into 1 by 3 BC square. So this will get cancelled. All the 3 terms have BC square. So I am taking BC square as common. Then the numbers remaining here are the fractions 1 by 9 plus 1 by 3 minus this is 2 by 9. So try to simplify, taking LCM AD square plus BC square into, you take here LCM as 9, 1 plus 3 minus 2, right? 4 minus 2 is 2 here. So this is nothing but AD square. Again you take LCM here 9. So this will be 9 AD square plus 4 times BC square, right? Now this can be more simplified, taking the 9 to the other side, that is 9 AB square here is equal to 9 AD square plus 4 minus 2, here it is 2, sorry, right? 1 plus 3 is 4, 4 minus 2 is 2, right? So plus 2 BC square. So as they have given, it's an equilateral triangle, AB is nothing but BC. So this BC can be written as AB only. So taking to the other side, 9AB square minus 2AB square is equal to 9AD square which is nothing but here 7 times AB square is equal to 9 times AB square, right? This is what they have asked. So this is how we can prove this problem. Coming to marking criteria for this problem, for construction of this triangle, half mark, writing out this relation between BMBC, BDBC, half mark, writing the Pythagoras theorem and substitution, half mark. Then see, everywhere you have simplified this into BC form, right? So till here you will get another half mark for this step. Simplifying, getting the final answer 7AB square is equal to 9AB square, AD square, sorry, AD square, you will get another 1 mark. So this is how they have simplified the problem, and the marking criteria is also mentioned here. See, for the triangle, half mark, writing the Pythagoras theorem and given data, half mark each, and then simplification, half mark, finding the final answer, 1 more mark. Coming to question number 31, the median of the following data is 16. Find the missing frequencies A and B if the total of the frequencies is 70, right? So N they have given and median they have given. So whenever they are talking about median, you have to calculate the cumulative frequency of the given data. So reconstruct the table, class, frequency and cumulative frequency. So write it down: 0 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 20, 20 to 25, 25 to 30, 30 to 35 and 35 to 40. And the corresponding frequency also note it down. Here 2 of the frequencies are missing, A and B they have marked. So we need to find out the missing 2 frequencies. So here whenever they are asking about the problems on this statistics, these are all straight formula based questions only. But whenever you are writing down the data from the question paper to your answer sheet, you have to be very careful with the numbers. So I am writing down the cumulative frequency 12, and then 12 plus A here, 12 plus 12, 24 plus A, 24 plus 15, 39 plus A, and 39 plus A plus B, 39 plus 6, that will go to 45 plus A plus B again, 40 plus 5 plus 45 plus 6, 51 plus A plus B, then 4, no, 55 plus A plus B, right? So total frequency they have given it as 70. 55 plus A plus B is nothing but 70. So from here A plus B is nothing but 70 minus 55, 15. One equation we got from this, and the second equation in terms of A and B you will get it from the other data they have given, that is median. So write down the formula for median. Median is nothing but L plus N by 2 minus the cumulative frequency of the median class, that is cumulative frequency of the class that is before the median class, and then the frequency of the corresponding median class multiplied by height of the median class. So first we have to find out what is the median class. You are given with the median is 16. So the 16 falls here in this class 15 to 20. So the median class is here 15 to 20. 15 to 20 is the median class. Then L is the lower limit of the median class. So 15 plus N by 2. N is given as 70. In the question itself they have given it is 70. So N by 2 means 70 by 2, 35, minus cumulative frequency of the class that is before the median class. So that will be 24 plus A. So minus of 24 plus A divided by frequency of the corresponding median class, that is 15, into height of the median class 20 minus 15, 5. So this will get cancelled to 3. I'm bringing this 15 to the other side. So 16 minus 15 is 1. 35 minus 24. 35 minus 24 is 11 minus a divided by 3. So just cross multiply. 11 minus a is equal to 3. So a is equal to 11 minus 3, that comes to 8. So value of a is 8. Put it in this equation, a plus b. Then b is equal to 15 minus a. 15 minus 8, that is nothing but 7. So the value of a is equal to 8 and b is equal to 7. Write it down clearly and put a box around. Coming to the marking criteria, for writing down this table, constructing this cumulative frequency itself, you will get 1 mark here. Then writing this equation, a plus b is equal to 15 here, half mark. For formula, half mark. Finding the value of a, you will get half mark. And finding the value of b, you will get another half mark. So this is how the 3 marks are divided for this statistics based question. Question number 32 is here. If the angles of elevation of the top of the candle from two coins distant a centimeter and b centimeter, where a is greater than b, from its base, and in the same straight line from it are 30 degrees and 60 degrees, then find the height of the candle. So read the question twice, understand, try to draw the picture. So you're given with one candle. Suppose say the candle height is h, which you have to find out, right? And from the candle, angle of elevations of top of the candle from the two coins they have given, right? So two coins are kept at here, suppose say. So let us say these 2 points are the candles. I am marking the height of the candle as AB. Let us take this is C here and D here, right? So now 2 candles are at 30 degrees and 60 degrees, right? So this is here 30 degrees and here it is 60 degrees. Right, angle of elevations of 2 coins, and as they are giving A is greater than B, so let us say DB is equal to A and BC is equal to B, right? So read the question again, whether you have marked everything properly or not. See, if the angles of elevation of top of the candle, so let us mark AB as the candle. From here there are 2 candles here on the base, on the straight line from the candle at the base. See here, this is the straight line that I have drawn. The 2 candles are at an angles of 30 degrees and 60 degrees. A and B they are telling, where A is greater than B. So I mark A and B also. Now we have to find out the height of the candle. Once you draw the picture, then simplification here, finding the value of H is very simple. See, if you consider triangle ABC, from here I can write tan 60, right? Tan 60 degrees is equal to opposite by adjacent. So H by B here. Then from triangle ABD, the bigger triangle, from there I am writing tan 30 degree. Tan 30 is again opposite by adjacent. So H divided by A. So tan 30 is root 3. Tan 60 is root 3 and tan 30 is 1 by root 3. From here I can get H is equal to root 3B, and from here I will get H is equal to A by root 3, right? So both are H only. Let us call this as equation 1 and equation 2. Both are H only, so you can equate that root 3B is equal to A by root 3. Right, or else this is no, like you can multiply equation 1 and equation 2 to get the value of H. We need H, no. So then H square is equal to root 3B multiplied by A by root 3. I am just multiplying 1 and 2 here, right? As we need H, don't neglect H here. Root 3 will get cancelled. This is AB. So H is equal to square root of AB, as they have asked for height of the candle here. So the height of the candle is root AB. Coming to the marking criteria, construction of this triangle, here you will get half mark. Then tan 60, this from this you will get 1/2 mark for this step. Again half mark here, another step, right? So simplification and solving here, you will get half mark. Writing the final answer, you will get 1 mark, right? So this is how they have divided the 3 marks. Question number 33. The mode of the following data is 67. Find the missing frequency x. So here no need to construct the table again, but for your clear understanding purpose, I am telling you better to write down the table in your answer sheet. So try to copy down the table in your answer sheet. So here I am not writing. Mode is given by the formula L plus F1 minus F0 divided by 2F1 minus F0 minus F2 into H. Write down the values of these variables L, F1, F0 and all. So you are given with the mode value is 67. So given mode is 67. So the modal class, the corresponding modal class is 60 to 70 here. Then L is the lower limit of the modal class. That is, you have to write down the lower limit of the modal class. L is equal to 60 here. H is the class height, 70 minus 10, that is 70 minus 60 is 10 here. Then F1 is the frequency of the modal class, that is 15. F0 is the frequency of the modal class, frequency of the class that is before the modal class, so X. F2 is the frequency of the class that is after the modal class, this is F2 is given by 12 here. So write down the given data. Now substitute here. L is 60 plus F1 is 15 minus X divided by 2 into 15, 30 minus F0 is X minus F2 is 12 into height of the class is 10. So this I will bring it to the other side, so that will be 7. 15 minus X divided by 30 minus 12 is 18 minus X into 10. So better you take the cross multiplication. So this is anyhow 7. So this 10 you bring it to the other side. So that will be 0.7 into 18 minus X is equal to 15 minus X. So if you calculate this, you will get it as 3x is equal to 24. Then x is equal to 24 by 3, that is equal to 8. So coming to the marking criteria, for writing the formula, you will get half mark. Then writing these values, what and all what, you will get another half mark here. So till here you will get 1 mark. For substitution, half mark. Calculation part, you have many steps to calculate. Here itself you will get 1 mark. Writing down the final answer, finding the value of x, you will get last half mark here, right? So this is how they have given that 3 marks. Coming to question number 34. So from question number 34 onwards, you have 5 markers. So very large answer questions. Question is like this. 2 palm trees are of equal heights and are standing opposite each other on either side of the river, which is 80 meter wide. From a point O between them on the river, the angles of elevation of top of the trees is 60 degrees and 30 degrees respectively. Find the height of the trees and the distances of the point O from the trees. Right, this type of question is very common question. You might have done many kind of problems in trigonometry. So read the question twice, draw the picture properly, read the question again whether you have marked the data correctly or not. So let us see. 2 palm trees of equal height standing opposite to each other on either side of the river. So I am drawing 2 lines of equal height, and this is like the river that is separated. They are telling it is of 80 meter wide. So let us say this total is 80 meter wide. So I am taking this as one tree as AB, other is CD. So both are of same height here, right? So from a point O between them on the river, so they have not given that is exactly at the center. So let us consider this point O in between the river. The angle of elevations of top of the trees is 60 degrees and 30 degrees. So first tree I am considering this is 60 degrees here. Then here it is 30 degrees. Now we have to find height of the trees and distances of the point O from the trees. So O, B, OD and ABCD. So these things we need to find out. So check it out whether you have marked everything or not. Read the question again, confirm. So after drawing, let us try to simplify or solve this question. So if I consider this distance BO as x here, then OD will be 80 minus x because the total distance BD is equal to 80 meter they have given, right? So I am taking this as x and this is 80 minus x. OD is 80 minus x. Now here write down what you have assumed, that is must, because this is 5-marker question. So BD is width of the river, write it properly. AB is equal to CD is equal to tree here, height of the tree. Then O is some point on the river that you mark it very properly. Write down that given data in the form of sentences. As it is a 5-marker question, this you need to mention. So now coming to triangle ABO here, this triangle ABO, from there I am writing tan 60 degrees is equal to opposite by adjacent, that is AB divided by OB, right? So AB I am leaving it like that only, that is height of the tree, because and we need to find no, so that I am writing AB. OB is x here. So tan 60 is how much? Root 3. So root 3 is equal to AB by x. So write it down. AB is equal to here root 3 times x. Then from triangle CDO, tan 30 degree is equal to CD divided by OD. Again CD is CD only, height of the tree, both are same here, right? So OD is again here 80 minus x, that is nothing but tan 30 is 1 by root 3. So simplify, this will be how much? CD times root 3 is equal to 80 minus x, or else you can write here, if this, let us call this as equation 1 and equation 2. So from both AB and CD are nothing but equal height. So or else assume this AB is equal to CD is equal to H, height of the tree, so that it will be more simplified for you. So equation 1 will be H is equal to root 3x. Equation 2 will be H is equal to 80 minus x by root 3, right? So like this you take. Now equate these two to get the value of x. So root 3x is equal to 80 minus x divided by root 3. So then it will be 3x is equal to 80 minus x. 4x is equal to 80. Then x is equal to 20 meter, right? So once you know x is equal to 20 meter, everything you can find out. See, x is nothing but BO. This is 20 meter. This is 80 minus x. 80 minus 20 means this is 60 meter. So BO is equal to 20 meter. OD is equal to 60 meter. Then height of the tree also they are asking. That is root 3 times x. So 20 root 3 meter. So this is how we can solve this problem very easily. So after finding the answers, check whether you have found everything or not. Height of the trees and distance of point O from the trees. Yes, everything you have found. Mark it clearly, write it down very clearly and then put a box around. Coming to the marking criteria. For drawing the picture, you will get 1 mark. Then writing the given data in your own words, assumptions and all, hx, all these things, here you will get half mark. Then writing tan 60 and tan 30, here you will get half mark. Finding the value of x, solving the given two equations, after getting the two equations, solving and getting the value of x, 1 mark. Then the other distance, 1 mark. Finding the height of the tree, 1 mark. See here, for drawing the picture, 1 mark. Assumption, half mark. Tan 60 and tan 30 here goes to half mark. So here itself 2 marks over. See, height of the tree 1 mark and distances, both the distances 1 mark and 1 mark. So finally 3 marks here. So this is how they have divided this 5 marks. Question number 34 has an internal choice. So the other question in question number 34 is like this. The angles of depression of the top and bottom of a building 50 meter high as observed from the top of the tower are 30 degrees and 60 degrees respectively. Find the height of the tower and also the horizontal distance between the building and the tower. So you are given with the two heights. One is the building and one is the tower. As they are telling here, you have the angles of depression. You are given with the angles of depression from the top of the tower. That means the tower is of height, higher, right, length compared to the building. So this is, let us say this is the building. So the building of height 50 meter here, and let us say this is the height of the tower. Let it be h. So when a person is observed from the top of the tower, the top and bottoms of the building are of the angles of depressions are 30 degrees and 60 degrees. So let us draw that. So to the top of the tower it is 30 degree and to the bottom of the tower this is 60 degree, right? So this total is angle is 60 degree. So when this is 30 degree, obviously the two lines cut by a transverse, this is 30 degree and here it has to be 60 degree. And once the height of the building is 30 degree, so if you draw a line parallel to the floor, then this has to be 50 meter. When this is 50, the remaining height is h minus 50 here, right? So let us mark this one A, B as the height of the tower and let us call C, D, E. Now coming to the solution, they are asking you to find out the horizontal distance between the tower and the building. So we don't know this. Let us call this as x to find out, and also height of the tower, h you need to find out, x you need to find out. So consider these two triangles here. So let us consider the triangle ADE. From triangle ADE, tan 30 degrees is equal to opposite divided by adjacent. So if you are talking about this triangle ADE here, so opposite is h minus 50 divided by adjacent is x, right? If BC is equal to x, AD is also parallel, that is also equal to x here. So this is equal to 1 by root 3 here. Now from triangle, this triangle you consider BCE, you can write for tan 60. So tan 60 degrees is opposite by adjacent again. So full, that is EC divided by BC. So h by x. This is equal to root 3 here. From here I can write h is equal to x root 3, or from here h is equal to x root 3 you can write. So here you have x is equal to root 3 times h minus 50. So you can equate anything and get the value. So you can solve these two things here, right? H is equal to x into root 3. So you put x here in this equation. So that will be root 3 into h minus 50 into root 3. Multiply. This will be 3h minus 150. So 2h is equal to 150 and height h is equal to 75 meter. So height of the building is 50. Coming to the height of the tower, h is equal to 75 meter here. Then you have to find out the value of x. So from here, this equation you can write x is equal to h by root 3. So 75 by root 3. This is 75 by root 3 meter. So you can write the height of the tower h is equal to 75 meter, whereas the distance between the building and the tower is given by 75 by root 3 meter. So write it down and put a box around. This is how we can solve this solution. So coming to the marking criteria here. For drawing the picture, you will get 1 mark here. Writing tan 30 from this triangle, you will get half mark. Then another half mark here. Getting the two equations, then solving here, you will get 1 mark. Getting the equation, getting the value of x 1 mark and getting the value of h and x, right? For these two, you will get 2 marks here. So 1 mark here, this is 1 mark, 2, 3 and 4th mark is for finding the value of h and 5th mark is for finding the value of x here. Coming to question number 35. Water is flowing through a cylindrical pipe of internal diameter 2 cm into a cylindrical tank of base radius 40 cm at a rate of 0.7 meter per second. By how much will the water rise in the tank in half an hour? See, this type of question you have to be very careful with the units. So they have given the diameter of the pipe, radius of the tank. Both are not radius or both are not diameter. One is given in radius, one is given in diameter, and both are given in centimeter, right? That is okay. Now coming to the rate of flow, 0.7 meter per second. This is given in meters again. So either you convert this into centimeter or the measurements of the tank and pipe in meters. So now, say this is the tank, suppose say the radius is given as 40 centimeter here. Then pipe of diameter here 2 centimeter. So 0.7 meter per second. So in 1 second, the height raised in the water tank is 0.7 meter, right? So the flow is 0.7 meter per second, means for every second 0.7 meters height is raised. So write it down clearly. So the radius of the pipe, so you are given with the diameter, so I am taking it as radius 1 centimeter, smaller. So capital R, radius of the tank, circular tank, right? That is a cylindrical tank, so the base is circle. So that is given as 40 centimeter. Then the speed at which the water is flowing is 0.7 meter per second. In the sense, the height raised in the water tank is 0.7 meters in 1 second. So let us convert these meters also into centimeter. So you know 100 centimeters is 1 meter. So 0.7 meters is how many centimeters? So 0.7 into 100, that will be 70 centimeter in 1 second. So they have asked for half an hour, right? So now volume, how much volume of the water is flowing in 1 second? 70 centimeter is flowing in 1 second. Now we'll see. So volume of the water in 1 second filled, the height raised is 70 centimeter. Then volume of the water is now pi r square h, because this is also of cylindrical shape. right? So pi r square h. The height raised is 70 centimeter now. So in 1 second, it will be pi into 1 square into 70. So they have asked for to calculate half an hour means 30 minutes. So 1 second it is pi into 1 square into 70. Then what about 1 minute? 1 minute means 60 seconds. So pi into 1 square into 70 into 60. Then half an hour means 30 minutes. So 30 minutes pi into 70 into 60 into 30. This 1 square I am neglecting, that is nothing but 1 only. So this much water is coming from the pipe, right, in 30 minutes. Now how much water is, that is what is the volume of the water tank in that 30 minutes. So let us write how much water volume it has raised. Pi capital R square h I am taking. The height we need, no? So pi into 40 square into h. Now that is equal to the water that is falling from the pipe. The volume of the water that is falling from the pipe, right? So that is nothing but pi into 70 into 60 into 30. As I need the height h, this pi will get cancelled. So don't try to multiply everything here itself. If you go wrong, everything will go wrong. Wait for the last minute calculation. They may get cancelled and your calculation will be easy. Otherwise, if you are taking the calculation here itself, one you may go wrong. The other one is the calculation will be lengthy. It will be time taking. Okay. So now I am writing 70 into 60 into 30 divided by 40 into 40. See, this is very simple now to calculate. Will get cancelled. So this is 2 times, this is 3 times and 2 times here. So 9 into 70 divided by 8. So if you do this calculation, you will get it as 78.75 centimeter. So the water rise in the tank, the length of the water, the height of the water that is raised in the tank in half an hour is 78.75 centimeter here. So coming to the marking criteria, for writing the given data, you will get 1 mark, right? Then height, converting height into centimeter, you will get half mark. For the picture, you will get 1/2 mark. Then writing down the formula, half mark. See, for 30 minutes calculation, 1 minute, 1 second, what is the water filled? 1 minute, what is the volume filled? And for 30 minutes, what is the volume filled here? That is another half mark. Equating the capital pi r square h is equal to small pi r square h, you will get another half mark. Then finding the value of h, you will get 1/2 mark here. Then see here, 1 mark, 2, 3, 4. Then finally write down the final answer and put a box around. For that you will get the final 1 mark here. Question number 36. This is the last question in the question paper. A motor boat covers a distance of 16 km upstream and 24 km downstream in 6 hours. In the same time, it covers a distance of 12 km upstream and 36 km downstream. Find the speed of the boat in still water and that of the stream. So this is also very frequently asked question. Write down the given data. So assume here speed of the boat in still water, right? Speed of the boat in still water is equal to x kilometer per hour. Then speed of the water, speed of the river or speed of the stream, right? So the speed of the stream or speed of the current, that you can take it as y kilometer per hour. Now they are talking about 2 directions. One is the upstream and downstream. So let us take here upstream and downstream. So upstream, right, that is if the water is flowing in one direction, the boat is moving in another direction. So the upstream speed will be x minus y kilometer per hour, as they both are moving in the different direction. Downstream, both are moving in the same direction, so the speeds will add up, x plus y kilometer per hour. So you are given, see, two cases they are discussing. A motorboat covers a distance of 16 km upstream and 24 km downstream in 6 hours. So the distance in upstream in the first case is 16 km and downstream is 24 km. Together it took a time of 6 hours, right? So we know time, right? You know that speed is equal to distance by time. So for writing the time, right? So that is nothing but distance by speed you can take. So this I am writing it as here 16 divided by x minus y plus 24 divided by x plus y is equal to 6. So let us call this as equation 1. Now they are discussing about another case here. The second case says the same time it covers a distance of 12 km upstream and 36 km downstream. So that again I am writing in the same form, 12 divided by x minus y plus 36 divided by x plus y is equal to same times 6. Let us call this as equation number 2. Now you have two equations and two unknowns, x and y. So let us solve this. For this, I will assume here 1 by x plus y is equal to u and 1 by x minus y is equal to v. Now this will become 24, 1 by x plus y, no, 24u plus 16v is equal to 6. Similarly, 36u plus 12v is equal to 6. Right? So these are the two equations here. Now we can go for further simplification here. If you take 2 common, this will be 12u plus 8v is equal to 3. Again here, again you can take 6 common, I think, right? 6 you can take common. If you take 6 common, 6u plus 2v is equal to 1. Now you can try to simplify these two equations to get the value of u and v. So do that. So try to multiply this equation with 4. Let us call this as equation number 3 and equation number 4. So multiply equation number 4 such that v will get cancelled. So 12u plus 8v is equal to 3. 24u plus 8v is equal to 4. Now subtract. This is minus 12u is equal to minus 1, implies u is equal to 1 by 12. So u value you got. Then to get the value of v, put u value in this equation, equation number 4 here. So that will be 6 into 1 by 12 plus 2v is equal to 1. So this is 2. Then what you are getting? 2v is equal to 1 minus 1 by 2. Right? So 2v is equal to 1 minus 1 by 2. That is nothing but 1 by 2. So v is equal to 1 by 4. So what we have assumed, x is u is equal to 1 by x plus y and v is equal to 1 by x minus y. So from here you can write x plus y is equal to 1, x plus y is equal to 12 and x minus y is equal to 4. So as we need x and y, not u and v, right? So we have assumed x is the speed of boat in still water and y is the water flow, right? So now solve for x and y. So cancel here. So x is equal to here, right, here we got x is equal to 16, 2x is equal to 16, right? So x is equal to 8. So put x is equal to 8 here. 8 minus y is equal to 4 implies y is equal to 8 minus 4, 4. So that you can write x, that is speed of boat in still water speed of boat in still water is equal to x is equal to 8 km per hour, whereas speed of water or speed of current or speed of river flow or stream, that you can write it as 4 km per hour. So this is how we can solve this problem. Coming to the marking criteria. So for assumption of x, y, upstream and downstream speeds, here you will get 1 mark. Then setting up of equation 1 and equation 2. Writing these two equations, equation 1 and equation 2, you will get 1 mark here. Then assuming 1 by x is equal to u and 1 by x minus y is equal to v here, then writing that equation number 3 and 4, you will get 1 more mark. Then solving the value of u and v here, the value of u and v here, you will get 1 mark. Then writing down the final answer or finding the value of x and y here, you will get another 1 mark. So this is how they have divided the 5 marks. For more videos, please do like, share, subscribe to our channel. Let us know your suggestions and queries in the comment box. Thank you.